Hey, this is Craig Ferrantino of Craig James Financial. Get ready for another financial report right here on 103.9 LI News Radio.
Discussions in this show are for educational purposes only. The views and opinions expressed are based on current economic and market conditions and are subject to change. Securities and advisory services offered through United Planners Financial Services, member FINRA, SIPC. Craig James Financial Services and United Planners are not affiliated. United Planners and its representatives do not offer tax or legal advice.
And let's not forget the website, CraigJamesFinancial.com. Not only information, ladies and gentlemen, you need to know, but also it'll allow you to log on. There's some great webinars and events coming our way, and we have one tomorrow, and we have another one on Thursday we'll tell you about. CraigJamesFinancial.com. Big-time website that'll give you a lot of information. Dow Friday went up 35 points. And futures right now, if you're waking up and expecting the worst with all the events that happened over the weekend, not the case. We'll have to keep an eye on that as far as the Strait of Hormuz over there in Iran, as far as the oil ships and everything else. They have blocked off a lot of the passageway there, so that could have a big-time effect. We'll get a sense of that as we welcome in Mr. Craig Ferrantino of the great Craig James Financial Services, located right in the heart of Melville, off of Broad Hollow Road. Sir, good to have you here.
Good morning, Jay. This has been a phenomenal weekend. A lot of anxiety for your audience, for some clients, tremendous amount as we took, as you know, what happened in Iran. But, I just want to let you know the interest rates are steady for the fourth consecutive meeting. The Federal Reserve, the geopolitical risks have increased. It's been breathless in terms of the analysis after the attack. What are the options that Iran has? Everybody's talking about it. And it's almost like, okay, let me give you a playbook on how to attack the United States. It's just unbelievable. That said, as you said, Jay, why are the markets, they're trending slightly positive on all three indexes, and it's just incredible there. So very important news here because of what's going on, how a tariff's going to affect inflation. We're not seeing any effective tariffs on inflation at this point. There's a lot of brouhaha about the worst-case scenario. I just sat a whole car ride listening to the analysts and was very, very disturbed about it. Dow Jones Industrial Average, year-to-date, though, Jake. Today is Monday. We want to get to what happens. Where are we year-to-date? Dow Jones Industrial Average down 0.8% for the year. For the year, where it closed at Friday at 42,207 points. For the week was basically flat. For the year, down 0.8%. So you're basically flat from January 1st. S&P 500 index, you're positive. You've got since January 1st, 1.5%. The Standard & Poor's, we closed Friday at 59.68. Closing should be close to 6,000 at this point. The NASDAQ, which is a tech-heavy index, up 0.7% since January 1st. So this kind of gives you a little bit of where we're at. The European index, which was up as much as 18% year-to-date, has come back down. Now we're at 15.1% since January 1st. 10-year Treasury, if you held those, let me see. Safety in bonds, maybe I'll make some money in bonds. You're still up about 0.5%. So not a lot of juice in the U.S. economy here as things are working out. Oil now is up to year-to-date, though, believe it or not, all the brouhaha. It's up 3% since January 1st. Lots of machinations there, Jay. 3% since January 1st. And that's where we're at. Bonds are up. Yeah, the AGG will be up about 2.9%. So that's what we have here, Jay. All the news that's fit to print and that's fit to talk about because there isn't really much. I'm just waiting for it. I mean, they're giving advice on, all the U.S. media is giving advice on what Iran should do next in retaliation for destroying the nuclear facilities. Surgical strike, don't know if any deaths were reported actually from the strike. So very, very interesting. We'll see how the markets play it. There is a weak economic news, not a lot of economic news this week. So we're going to sit back here in as we go through June to getting into July, Jay. We're rounding the base on the second quarter of 2025, which would be June 30th. And that's what I have for today, my friend.
All right. We got a lot to concentrate on as far as, what could happen today. The futures market is down 40, was up 40 a little before we started the show. So we'll have to watch that, especially with the Strait of Hormuz over there and all the oil and everything else, how it is affected. So we'll have a sense of what's going on a little bit.
Something about this, Jake. Sorry to interrupt. The 80% of the oil produced by Iran goes to China.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind. That's not a U.S. concern. Chinese would be very upset about that. I would think if they knew that was always an option, if you're going to strike a country, I think the administration has, is probably 2 or 3 steps ahead of this. So I'm just curious. People are talking about, it's like they do. Here's Iran's possibilities. I don't think there's a lot of options for them at this point. So we'll see what's going on. But I could be proven wrong, but I just don't see a lot of options.
And that could be an interesting call later from China to Iran regarding that, because Iran gets a lot of help from China in other areas. So that'll be a very interesting component, at least China and Iran. Very interesting. We'll see what comes out of that. We'll keep an eye on things. Can't thank you enough. Lots happening. And we'll talk to you tomorrow morning.
Yes, Joe, we'll be in touch, all right, my friend? We're at Kennedy Airport heading to the West Coast. So we'll talk about the rest of this week, but I'll text you on that, all right? Have a good week if we don't chat with you. And if we need to chime in, we will. We'll get up 3 hours early or whatever, and we'll get on your show if there's something we need to talk about.